The royal family is besieged right now. Our king has cancer. Princess Catherine's recovering from serious abdominal surgery that will keep her away from public duties until at least Easter. The monarchy is unquestionably still finding its footing after the death of the late Queen.
Are you serious?
But through every crisis, one man has stood firm against the barrage, resolutely maintaining a pretty special gift for making everything all about him. Yes, Prince Harry is back on our screens, and I suspect a lot of people shared my excitement when they heard this.
In moments, the Duke of Sussex will be hurtling headfirst 60 miles an hour down a winding track of ice in the mountains of Canada.
Well, fortunately, Harry emerged unscathed and made it back up the slopes to deliver a heartwarming message of peace and reconciliation. At least that was the plan.
We see it on a day-to-day basis. The strength of the family unit coming together.
How have you processed the fact that there's so much happening back with your family?
I have
very good question.
My own family,
right.
So as we all do.
Yeah.
I've got other trips planned that would take me through the UK or back to the UK. I'll stop in and see my family as much as I can.
Stop it.
Really? Even in a schmaltzy softball interview with American Breakfast Television, Harry is prickly and defensive, and with good reason. Illness will bring us back together, he says, before immediately clarifying that he's staying on the opposite side of the world because actually he's got plenty of his own things to be getting on with. But rest assured, loyal subjects, he'll still pop in when he feels like it, if he can. Woo! Time permitting. Later in the same interview, Harry makes a stunning admission that he's now considering becoming an American citizen.
Would you think about becoming a citizen?
I have considered it, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What would stop you from doing it?
I have no idea.
You know what it might be? You have to give up your titles if you become a US citizen. I'd say that being a senior member of the British royal family, whose only remaining relevance comes from monetising his ever-weakening royal links, is a pretty obvious barrier. Whether the US authorities would even consider making Harry a citizen after he gloated about his prodigious drug use in his memoir Spare is another issue. And just hours after revealing that he might abandon Britain for good, Harry began his briefings all over again. This time let it be known that, heroically, he's prepared to don his ginger cape and soar back to Britain, fulfilling some of the ailing king's duties while he's treated.
Stop it.
In a typically irritating millennial missive, Harry has offered a, quote, hybrid working model, the regal equivalent of meeting on Zoom in your underpants.
Prince Harry is keen to be reconciled with his father and has been telling people that he wants a return, that he's happy to step in some sort of temporary royal role while his father's away unwell. Obviously, the king has cancer. He's away from public duty. But also, Princess of Wales is off. She's recovering from abdominal surgery. She's not going to be around until Easter. What I've been told is that Prince Harry is very keen. He's always wanted to have a foot back in the fold.
Are you serious?
He never really wanted to be all the way out.
All very valiant, Harry, but there's one little problem. Nobody wants you back. 4 years ago, Harry and Meghan abandoned the royal family and the monarchy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
And resigned their royal duties to embark on a new life in California. The late Queen was crystal clear at the time. You cannot be half in, half out. If you go, you're gone for good. And it seems that the King himself has agreed with that. Harry jetted into the UK immediately after hearing his father's cancer diagnosis. No one can criticise him for that. But he might have been surprised at the less than hearty reception. The King's aides made Harry stay in a hotel.
Yeah, boy.
He was allowed just one hasty 30-minute meeting at Clarence House, not at Sandringham, where the King flew off on his helicopter to recuperate. Because, you know why? They were kind of worried that they wouldn't get rid of Harry, and also a little bit worried that someone who's committed all the private thoughts of his family to books and podcasts and television interviews in a scathing, derogatory manner might just do it all over again. They also knew that the King is a 75-year-old man being treated for a very serious illness and needs time to rest. He doesn't need to be part of the ongoing Sussex psychodrama. Now compare and contrast the dignified behaviour of Prince William, who's been taking care of his wife and only just returned to public duties. Last night he attended the BAFTAs and glided around the place with the gravitas and decorum that he always does. No vainglorious narcissism, no attention-seeking, no self-pity. Of course, there was no meeting at all last week between Harry and his brother. Harry's supporters, apparently there are some of them somewhere, felt that was spiteful.
Are you serious?
Really? They must have had the recall skills of a goldfish or President Biden. Don't forget that this time last year, the royals were still reeling from Harry and Meghan's Netflix show, which condemned Britain and the monarchy as irredeemably racist and torched the reputations of their closest family members.
It was terrifying to have my brother scream and shout at me, and my father say things that just simply weren't true, and my grandmother, quietly sit there and sort of take it all in.
Harry went on to maul his own brother in that show and smeared his own father, the king, as a liar. The monarchy was directly accused of destroying two of its own to protect itself. Even the late Queen was appallingly presented as a dupe.
Stop it.
Manipulated by sinister courtiers in a dark plot to smear the poor Sussexes. As if that 6-hour onslaught of sycophancy and sedition wasn't enough, along came the memoir, across 416 pages.
Wait for it.
Of pure poison. The Prince of Privacy revealed toe-curling details about excruciating and deeply personal disputes with his family, including this about his brother.
He grabbed me by the collar, ripping my necklace, and he knocked me to the floor. I landed on the dog's bowl, which cracked under my back.
So that was a f***ing lie.
The pieces cutting into me.
Well, we all laughed, of course. But do you think William laughed at that? The man who will be our next monarch would laugh at being ridiculed and mocked in that manner by his own brother? Is it really any wonder that Prince William wants nothing to do with him? The Prince of Wales is now facing up to the massive responsibility that awaits him as Britain's next head of state, but his own brother has gone out of his way to shatter his reputation and that of his wife. Why on earth would he want to reconcile with someone like that? It's been a relentless one-way attack. That was a low point for Harry, but Harry, well, he can always find a way to go lower, digging deeper and deeper until he finds the gutter. He called Camilla, the new queen,
Wait for it.
the love of his father's life, dangerous and a villain. Reportedly, he refused to even be in the same room as her when he came over on his mercy mission last week. Harry's also boasted about his drug use and losing his virginity. He revealed the number of people he killed in Afghanistan, breaking all normal rules of how the military behave. He spilled details from intensely private conversations with the king, who'd begged him not to make his final years a misery. We don't need to wait for history to judge how he's getting on with that. And as the global media he supposedly loathes gorged on the red meat he'd tossed them, Harry did precisely what any dignified member of Britain's proudest institution would never do. He toured with TV studios with lurid tidbits for clapping seals.